Willie D Live.
Let's go back to Louisville, Kentucky, your hometown, the hometown of one of the greatest fighters that ever existed, Muhammad Ali. Have you ever met Muhammad Ali?
Never met him, man. I feel like
Now,
I
how
have.
do you live? How are you born in Louisville, Kentucky, and still have a connection in Louisville, Kentucky after all these years, and not have met the greatest?
Because he left Kentucky for the same reason I did. He left because the racism, and just and you notice you're from Texas, so I mean that's probably worse. But
I've never experienced a racial incident in my life yet. I just want to say that out loud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. We're
post-racial in Texas, but go ahead.
Yeah, man. But it was like one of those things, man, where Ali left. Ali, it wasn't like he was around when I was growing up. But he was a legend, and everybody talked about him. My father would talk about him, and I would watch his movies and all that. And I remember he did that movie called The Greatest. And actually, there was a scene in that movie where they were in the Omni Hotel, I think, in Atlanta. And that's actually where we're having the All-Black National Convention. And in fact, that's why I was excited when they picked that hotel, when the team did. I said, yeah, that was in the movie The Greatest. And the reason I think about that movie is because in that movie, when he was talking about, I believe the children are our future and all that, I felt like he was talking about me. Like I felt like I was one of those kids that he was actually being courageous to clear a path for later. So Ali was always a part of my spirit, man. I would read books about him, and my father bought me this thing where his handprints were in it. I put my handprints up against his. He has real small hands, by the way. It was real surprising. And so he was that Ali spirit definitely was there. And I remember when I would go through tough situations, I would look at his life and the stuff he went through. And I would be like, well, what I'm going through ain't nothing compared to what he went through. He fought through that in the 60s. I could fight through this in the 90s and the 2000s. So Ali was present. My grandmother went to high school with him. So she's got a lot of, just really interesting but uninteresting stories about the family. Like she'll talk about something random like, oh yeah, they lived down the street and they would come down and eat the chicken, just stuff like that. It's like regular stories like that. But the legend of Ali was always like a part of Louisville, man. And I was always very proud of the fact that this guy could come from the same town I came from and impact the whole world. That was real cool, because Louisville ain't exactly a city that you talk about in daily conversation. It's not like Chicago or New York or whatever. And the fact that this guy was around the world and had everybody talking about Louisville, man, that's inspirational. So Ali was one of my greatest heroes. I know his daughter, but and her husband, they're real cool people. But I never met Ali.
Which daughter?
Layla.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that was the boxer.
Well, I didn't want to assume.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a few kids, I think.